Top of the morning, people. How's it going? Welcome back. We're here for week 7 of the college football slate. I'm your host, Jake, and you're here at the Bettor's Edge. With that said, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, guys. Let's get straight into it with today's card. First game today, guys, that I want to talk about. It's an interesting matchup, probably a more interesting game than most people think. You got the Alabama Crimson Tide on the road against the Missouri Tigers. We saw Alabama last week, guys. I told you guys last Saturday, take Alabama, lay the points against Vandy at home, and we ended up cashing that ticket. I'm back with you this week, guys, to tell you, tap the brakes on this Alabama Crimson Tide team. I talked about it very briefly last week. Head coach Kellen DeBoer has not been impressive as obviously as the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Last week's performance, even though they got the win and they did cover late through the back door, was hardly impressive. They're going up against a team today that's significantly more talented and significantly better than that Vanderbilt team. This Missouri team is strong offensively and is very strong defensively. Kellen DeBoer's offense is going to be challenged today. Keep in mind, Missouri has had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. Alabama's coming off a difficult game last week, as we talked about. Their quarterback is playing high-level football right now. What's missing in Alabama, now obviously it's a significant downgrade from the Nick Saban years, is the defensive side of the game. On defense, this Alabama Crimson Tide team can be had. I expect this Missouri offense. This is a team that's very balanced. They're strong offensively and they're very strong on defense. I expect this Missouri team to perform well offensively today. They're going to put up points. With that said, I also expect Alabama to perform well offensively. This is going to be a difficult game. Alabama's laying 3 points. This has been historically a series where Alabama has dominated Missouri. And I'm not sitting here suggesting that Alabama's not going to walk away from this game with the victory today. But what I am telling you guys is you want to be cautious and you want to be kind of worried about this matchup if you're thinking about backing the Alabama Crimson Tide. This Missouri team is going to come ready to play. It's an early game. We see a lot of teams come out flat when they're expected to win, and rest assured you, Alabama is expected to win this game. It will go down nationally as a massive upset if they do lose this game. But we all know from a bettor's perspective, this line's only 3. It's going to hardly be a massive upset if Alabama ends up losing this game. And I'm telling you right now, early Saturday morning, that there's a chance Missouri ends up winning this game. I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever. They're very balanced, as I talked about, from an offensive and defensive perspective. They're strong on both sides of the ball. And what really gives me reason for concern to back Alabama is Kellen DeBoer just doesn't show up in big games. Time and time again, when he's been given a big game over there at Alabama, his team has come up short. In my opinion, and I talked about this when he was hired, I didn't think that this was the right hire for that program. I still feel that way today. I talked last week about how I thought the win 2 weeks ago at Georgia was going to propel this program and maybe propel Kellen DeBoer to elevate their game to the next level, and that just didn't happen last week against Vanderbilt, a significantly weaker Vanderbilt team than this Missouri team. This line is 3. This game is the epitome of a toss-up. This is going to go down to the wire. If you're asking me right now who I think is going to win this game, I do think Alabama is going to figure out a way to squeeze out a W. But it's not worth the coin flip toss-up that this game is going to end up being. I think they're going to make 1 or 2 more plays late in the game, kind of like they did last week, to squeeze out a W. But this Alabama Crimson Tide team is more prone to bonehead mistakes than they have been in years past when they had Nick Saban running their program. So be careful back in the Alabama Crimson Tide early this afternoon. Moving on to, in my opinion, the best game of the day. It's the Red River Shootout. I still call it the Red River Shootout. This is Oklahoma. This is Texas. It's the biggest game on the calendar year in the state of Texas, in the state of Oklahoma. from a college football standpoint, and maybe even from a football standpoint altogether. I've been down south for this game in Central America. And trust me when I tell you this game is bigger than anything during the course of the entire calendar year for both of these states. This is a game, no matter how good each program is, no matter how poor the other program is, both teams always show up. There have been historical classic moments in this rivalry. The Roy Williams game with Major Applewhite comes to mind. You had the game a couple of seasons ago that was an instant classic where it was a crazy shootout. This game today, in my opinion, comes down to just one thing and one thing only. You got two teams that are very, very strong on the defensive side of the ball. You got a defensive head coach over there at Oklahoma in Venables, and his defense is going to show up this afternoon for sure. You have an offensive head coach over there at Texas, but that's also a unit and a team right now that's being led by their defensive side of the ball. Their offensive side right now at Texas is absolutely lacking. Oklahoma's getting their quarterback back this afternoon in Mateer, and he's a damn good quarterback. I'm a little bit uneasy about him playing in this game and curious to see, number one, if he's able to play the entire 4 quarters, and number two, if he is able to play, at what level he's going to be able to perform at. They're indicating that he's not 100% healthy. So there is a chance that if you do back Oklahoma, keep this in mind, that he exits the game and doesn't return. So if you're planning on taking Oklahoma and you're looking at this from the outside looking in and you're thinking, all right, I'm going to be able to bet on Oklahoma and back them and I'm going to have my quarterback playing, keep in mind there's a chance midway through the game, who knows at what point, could be early, could be middle, could be late, where the QB exits the game and is unable to finish it. Nobody wants to see that happen, not only from an entertainment perspective, but also from a betting perspective. If you're betting Oklahoma and your QB exits the game and can't finish it, you weren't envisioning that happening. So you have to be aware of that scenario potentially arising. With that said, as I mentioned a few moments ago, this game is going to come down to one thing. And in my opinion, there's a significant edge that the University of Texas has in this game, and that's at the head coach, if you want to call it position. Steve Sarkisian is a significantly better head coach than Brent Venables. Sarkisian is known for his offensive play design. He's one of the biggest and one of the best offensive gurus in the country. We haven't seen that to date so far with Archie Manning in this University of Texas offense. They've struggled in just about every single game this season up until this point. I think they're going to struggle today as well on the offensive side of the ball. I think their defense is going to keep them in it. As I talked about just a moment ago in the Alabama-Missouri game, this game is also going to go down to the wire. And this game is going to be a game of specific moments. Sarkisian is known for having tricks up his sleeve, multiple tricks up his sleeve in games like this. You're going to see fake punts, flea flickers, fake field goals. Whatever the case is, he's going to have something prepared for this game, whether it's on offense, whether it's on special teams, to give his team an advantage. I just think when I'm looking at this game, from that perspective, I think there's a major advantage that the University of Texas has with Steve Sarkisian. Brent Venables is a brilliant defensive mind, but when it comes to being a head coach, since he's left Clemson University, he really hasn't had that here you go moment where he's arrived at Oklahoma. And he's been there now for probably a handful of years, and he still hasn't had that moment. Steve Sarkisian, again, as brilliant as he is offensively, and as much as they've struggled on the offensive side of the football, especially with Archie Manning, I'm not sitting here pretending as if that's just going to flip today and Archie's just going to all of a sudden, play elite level football. I don't think that's going to happen. But what I do think is going to happen is in a critical moment, Sarkisian is going to have something up his sleeve to figure out a way to win this game. He always does. He always comes through in the clutch moments with something that either the defense or the opposition special team doesn't have planned for. And you're going to see that today. He's going to pull out all the stops to win this game. This game is basically a pick'em. And when I look at it from that perspective, it's an even game from an offensive versus defensive standpoint on both sides of the ball. Obviously, the Oklahoma offense right now is performing better than the Texas offense. However, they're not going up against the Texas offense. The Oklahoma offense is going up against the Texas defense. And that Texas defense is stout. So with that said, I have a lean here. It's not an official play on the money line to the Texas Longhorns. I think they're going to figure out a way to win this game. They've won 2 out of the last 3. Over the course of the last decade or so, this rivalry has been dominated by the University of Oklahoma. However, today, it's going to be 3 wins out of the last 4. And mark my words, the Texas Longhorns are going to come out of this game with a victory. It's not an official play for me. I'm not betting it myself, but the Texas Longhorns are going to win this game. Moving on to a game early this evening. It is my official play of the day, the only game that I will be betting on this college football slate. It's probably, in my opinion, the second most interesting game on this card. It's a pretty strong card, mind you. There are some other games that I'm not going to get into that are also interesting and entertaining. But you got the University of Michigan going on the road to face the USC Trojans. This is a game, in my opinion, that does not match up well for the Michigan Wolverines. This Michigan Wolverines team is solid. They're not great. They're not as good defensively this season as they have been in years past. Last season, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, this was an elite defensive team. This is a team on the offensive side of the ball that is starting to improve. Their quarterback is getting better every single week. He's improving. He's gaining experience. He's a true freshman. Their ground game is very, very good. They're going to give USC loads of issues with their ground and pound football game. There's no question about that in my mind. However, this game last season in Ann Arbor was an instant classic. I'm not sure if you guys remember that game, but Michigan squeezed out of that game probably undeservedly with the victory. With that said, I don't anticipate that happening this season in Southern California. And the reason for that is this USC offense is far too potent. They have weapons every single position at the skill position area. Running back, speed and pace. Wide receiver, speed for days. Their quarterback is playing as good as anybody in the country right now. When I look at the way that these two teams match up, I do think Michigan is going to present some problems, as I mentioned, on the ground, and their quarterback is improving. However, this Michigan defense, even though they're good, they're not good enough to slow down this USC offense to the point where they're going to be able to win this game. I just think this USC offense, as I mentioned, from a skill player perspective, from an offensive line perspective, they're improving drastically over the course of the last couple of seasons. They've been really, really bad. This season, they're much better. This USC offense is going to put up, I'm telling you right now, is going to put up a minimum of 32, 33 points this afternoon, early evening. I don't see a way in which this Michigan offense is going to be able to keep up with this USC offense. And again, they're going to present problems. They're going to be able to score. Their quarterback is playing well. Their ground game is good. However, in the critical moments, a crucial third down, a crucial fourth down, if that Michigan offense is required to make a play, I just expect, even though this USC defense isn't great, the inexperience that Michigan has on the offensive side of the ball at quarterback is more than likely going to cost them the game today. It's an official 2-unit play. I'm telling you guys right now, just like I predicted a Texas Longhorn victory, I'm predicting a USC victory today as well. USC is going to cash. I would lay the points. Yes, I would lay the points -2. You can find 2 or 2.5 anywhere. They're going to win this game. They're going to cover the spread. And this is going to be as close to a signature victory as the USC program has had in the last handful of years. This has been a program that's been down, as you guys know, for quite some time. And a victory today isn't necessarily going to propel them into elite level discussions. However, it is going to propel them potentially into a position to enter into the college football playoff discussion. And I think that with the victory today, you're going to see the national attention on this USC program team really start to gain traction, and deservedly so, because this offense, I'm telling you right now, has as much talent, as much speed as any offense in the entire country. And this offense is going to really put up a lot of points, a lot of yards. They're going to move the ball because this Michigan defense just is not as good as it was. This was a dominant unit the last couple of seasons, probably, a top 2 or 3 unit across the country. In my opinion right now, they're probably a top 20, top 25, top 30 defense. When you're talking about college football, that's a significant drop-off. USC Trojans are going to win this football game. I'm taking them on the money line. I'm taking them minus the points. The official play is -2. That's what I got it at, but I also dabbled on the money line as well. It's a 2-unit play. The USC Trojans are going to win this game. That covers my college football slate for today, guys. It's only one official play, but I do have, as I mentioned, the Texas Longhorns winning the Red River Shootout. I do have the Missouri Tigers giving Alabama a very, very tight game. I do think Bama squeezes out of there with the victory. There are some other games that I didn't get into that are very interesting and entertaining that you guys probably should stay away from. But I'll leave that up to you guys. Enjoy the video, guys. Like the video again. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're all here for the same purpose. I want to grow this community. I want to continue providing you guys with my insight, my knowledge, my expertise. And I want to hear what you guys have to say. If you guys have any thoughts, opinions on these games, the games that I chose, or your own games that you guys want to talk about, leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you guys are betting on, what you guys think for some of today's games, and where your money is. And we all have the same goal in mind. As I talk to you guys about each and every single week, we're all trying to accomplish the same thing. We're all trying to cash tickets. We're all trying to beat the bookies, and we're going to do that today. Go USC.